In this class, we are going to discuss some examples. Let's consider first. Derive the relationship for phase and line voltage and currents for a three-phase delta connected system. Here, a three-phase delta connection system is given to us. Let us draw a delta circuit. This is delta network. There are three phases R, Y and B. This is R, this is Y, this is B. The line current in this line is IL. The current in this phase, let's consider I1, here it is I2 and here it is I3. This is nothing but a loop. The voltage between two lines is VL. The current in the particular line is IL. Let's consider system is balanced. For a balanced system, the voltage across one phase must equal to voltage across second phase. Similarly, for third phase, Vp3. And let it is given a common notation, that is Vp. Since phase is connected between two lines, this phase is connected between two lines, and hence we can say that whatever the voltage across this particular phase is Vp1, that will be equals to this line voltage. Therefore, for delta connection, we can say from observation only Vp is equal to VL, and hence in case of delta connection, line voltage is always equal to the phase voltage. Now considering the relationship between line current and phase current, IL and IP. To find out relationship between line current and phase current, we have to consider the, let's consider this node A. At node A, apply KCL. Now this is the current entering at this junction, this is the current entering at this junction, and this is the leaving current, and hence we can say IL plus I3 is equal to I1 phasor, and from here we can rewrite this equation. IL is equal to I1 minus I3. Now knowing the phase relationship between these three phases, let's consider this is I1, this is I2, because this is a three-phase system, and hence the angle between these three phases is 120 degree. Now in this case, we have to find out the phase difference between I1 and I3. Let's consider this is I1, this is I3. Taking the reverse of this vector, that is minus I3. The phase relationship between I1 and I3, drawing the concept of parallelogram law of forces, here we can find out this is the phasor of IL. This total angle is 60 degree, whereas half of this angle is 30 degree. Now applying parallelogram law of forces here, then we can find out IL is equal to I1 square plus minus of I3 square minus of 2I1 minus of I3 cos of angle 60 degree, and hence taking the under root of this whole function, it will give us I1 plus I3, and I1 plus I3, this is a balanced system. I1 is equal to I2 is equal to I3, let it is IP, and this will be I1, let it is IP square, this is minus plus 2 IP square into 1 by 2 under root, and hence this is equals to under root 3 IP, and the relationship between IL is equal to root 3 of IP in case of delta connection. Now considering the second part, in second part the voltage VL is given to us 440 volt and I is given to us, that is 20 ampere. By the definition, we know reading of wattmeter 1 is equal to VL IL cos of 30 plus theta or 30 plus phi, and W2 is equal to VL IL cos of 30 minus phi, and hence this value will be equals to cos of 30 plus phi. Putting all these value here, phi is already defined, that is cos of theta is given as 0.707 and phi is equal to 45 degree. And putting all these value, V is 400, I is 20, phi is 45, W1 will be equals to 2277.6 watt, and W2 will be equals to, that is 8500 watt. Now by the definition we know Q is equal to root 3 VL IL sine of theta, because angle is 45, sine of 45 is also 0.007, and this is equals to, putting all these value VL IL and sine of phi here, it will be 10776.12, that is equals to 10.67 kVAR. Now S will be equals to root 3 VL IL, which is equals to 15242.04 VA, and if we want to find out P will be equals to sum of these two, and that will be equals to Q only, because angle is same. Instead of having a sine theta, in case of P we will be having VL root 3 VL IL cos of theta, and that will be equals to 10.67 kilowatt. This is answer. It can be written as 15.24 kV. Now another example. In this case we have to find out the turn ratio and transformer ratio when transformer rating is given to us. Now what is the working principle of transformer is? The working principle of transformer is electromagnetic induction, that is EMI. According to EMI, if there is a coil, and here we have to develop a magnetism by applying some source over here, it will develop a magnetism, and if another coil is placed nearby it, it will cause a development of EMF across the terminal A and B by mutual induction. And hence whenever a conductor is placed near to the another conductor energized by the supply, the EMF will develop across it. The magnitude of that EMF is directly proportional to rate of change of flux linkage, and it can, taking the proportionality constant, then E is equal to N d phi by dt. Now considering the Lenz law, this magnitude can be defined as minus N d phi by dt, and this is what is known as electromagnetic induction. Now the rating of transformer is given to us. Transformer rating is 20 kVA. Now the transformer voltage ratio V1 is 1100 volt and V2 is 440 volt. Now I1 is equal to kVA of the transformer divided by kVA of the transformer. kVA of transformer is 20 into 10 to power 3 divided by 1100, and this is equals to 18.18 ampere. Similarly, we can calculate I2. I2 will be equals to kVA of transformer divided by kVA. Here it is primary side, because we are calculating secondary side. Here it is kV in the secondary side. Here this was in primary side, this is in secondary side. 20 into 1000 divided by 440, it will be equals to 45.45 ampere. Now the For a transformer, we know V1 by V2 is equal to N1 by N2, and this is nothing but the turn ratio. N is equal to 1100 divided by 440, which is equals to 2.5. Now by the definition we know K is equal to transformation ratio. Transformation ratio is V2 by V1. V2 is 440, V1 is 1100, which is equals to 0.4, and this is nothing but a turn ratio. This is the answer. This is what we are supposed to find out in this problem. Now considering another example, in this case we have to solve this problem using mesh analysis. There are 3 loops, and in these 3 loops there are 3 different sources. Let's consider this is loop 1, this is loop 2, and this is loop 3. This loop current is I1, here current is I2, in this loop is I3. Apply KVL. Apply KVL in loop 1. Starting from here, this will be plus, this will be minus, this will be plus, this will be minus, this is plus, this is minus. Starting from the first, it will be minus of 5 I1, minus of, this is 5, we are moving from lower to higher potential, this is taken as plus, then higher to lower potential, this is taken as plus, minus 6, since the current in this resistance is difference of these two, which is I1 minus I2. Then in this branch the current is I1 only, it will be minus 4 I1 moving from lower to higher potential plus 10 is equal to 0. This is the KVL equation for first. Now on simplifying this equation, it will be minus 15 I1 plus 6 I2 is equal to minus 15. Let's consider this is equation first. Now loop 2. In loop 2, again define the polarity of this E for each and every element. This element is already defined, and hence it is taken as minus of 8 I2, then minus, we are moving from higher to lower, then minus 15, then higher to lower, minus 2 I2 minus I3, because the current in this element is the difference of I2 and I3. Now coming to this point, this is, we are moving from lower to higher potential, plus 6, polarity is already defined, I1 minus I2, then higher to lower, again that will be minus 5 is equal to 0. And hence further simplifying this equation, it will give 6 I1 plus minus of 16 I2 plus 2 I3 is equal to 20. This is equation second. For loop third, in third loop, applying KVL in loop third, this is polarity, this is plus, this will be minus, rest of the polarities are defined. It will be minus of 10 I3, then plus of 2 I2 minus I3, then plus 15 is equal to 0. On simplifying this equation, it will be 2 I2 minus 12 I3 is equal to minus 15. Let's consider this equation is third. Now we are having 3 equations and 3 variables. Apply Cramer's rule. That is delta I1 is equal to delta 1 upon delta I2 is equal to delta 2 upon delta, and I3 is equal to delta 3 upon delta, where delta 1, delta 2 and delta 3 are obtained by replacing the left hand column with the right hand column accordingly, and delta is the metric determinants of the matrix, given matrix, original matrix, and from here we can find out I1 will be equals to 0.0 652 ampere. I2 will be equals to minus of 0.869 ampere, and I3 will be equals to 1.106 ampere. Now, in this case, we were supposed to find out current through 10 ohm resistance, and it is coming to be positive, and hence the current in 10 ohm resistance is the 1.11, whereas the voltage, this is not but I10, current in 10 ohm resistance, then IV10 ohm is equal to I into my R, that is I is 1.106, R is 10, which is equals to 11.06 volt. This is answer. Now consider another example. In this case, there are two branches. These two branches are connected in parallel, whereas this parallel combination is connected in series with this third branch. Now consider the impedance of this branch is Z1, the impedance of this branch is Z2, the impedance of this branch is Z3. Now this problem can be solved by two methods, though it is not mentioned over here which method is to be followed, and hence we will solve this problem by two methods. Let's consider first admittance method. Now, in case of admittance, whatever the branches in parallel, we have to convert their impedances into admittance form. Then we know Z is equal to 1 oblique Y, or Y is equal to 1 by Z. Now consider Z2. Z2 is equal to, in this case, 5 plus J7, which is can be written in a polar form, 8.6 angle of 54.46. Z3 will be equals to 4 minus J6, which is equals to 7.2 angle of minus 56.31 degree in polar form. By the definition, we know Y1 is equal to, that is Y2 is equal to 1 oblique Z2, which is equals to 1 oblique 8.6 angle of 54.46. This is equals to 0.1162 angle of minus 54.46. Similarly, Y3 is equal to 1 oblique Z3, which is equals to 1 oblique 7.2 angle of minus 56.31, which is equals to 0.1389 angle of 56.31 degree. Now the resultant Y of this circuit, Y23, is equal to Y1 plus Y2. Again converting this polar form into rectangular form, the resultant value will be 0.0771 plus J 0.1156 for Y3, and for Y2, converting this Y2 in polar form, rectangular form, it will be 0.0675 minus J 0.09455, and it gives the resultant value as 0.1 1446 plus J 0.0210. Now converting it into polar form again, then the resultant value will be 0.1461 angle of 8.263. Now this is Y23. We know Y23 is equal to 1 by Z23, and hence Z23 will be equals to 1 oblique Y23, which is equals to 6.84 angle of minus 8.26. Now this is Z23, right? Now further writing this equation in a rectangular form, it will be 6.78 minus J 0.98. When the equivalent impedance of this branch is calculated. Now the resultant impedance Z total of the circuit will be Z1 plus Z23, which will be equals to, that is adding this value in Z1. Here Z1 is 6 plus J8. 6 plus J8, it will be 12.78, then minus or plus, it will be 7 point, this is 8, minus of 0.98, 7 point, this will be, it will gives us, this is 8 minus 0.98 is equal to 7.202 of J. This is the total impedance of the circuit. This is obtained by using admittance method. However, the same can be solved by using symbolic method. Symbolic method. In symbolic method, we are not going to convert Z into my admittance. Here we are finding out Z23 directly, which is equals to Z2 into my Z3 divided by Z2 plus Z3. Simply taking the parallel combination of impedances. Here it is 5 plus J7 into my 4 minus J6 divided by 9 plus J1. Taking the sum of these two values. The resultant value of this component is, on solving, 556 minus J80 divided by 82, which is equals to 6.78 minus J 0.98, and this is same as that of the impedance we calculate using admittance method. Symbolic method and admittance will give same value of Z23. Then again Z total will be equals to Z1 plus Z23. Z1 is 6 plus J8, then Z23 is 678 minus J 0.98, which is equals to again 12.78 plus J 7.02 ohm. Knowing the value of Z, then we can convert this Z into a equivalent polar form. It will be 14.52 angle of 28.9 degree. Now the angle of impedance is 28.9, and hence the overall power factor of the circuit is equal to cos of phi, which is equals to cos of 28.9, and that is equals to 0.8754. Since it is plus, it will be lagging. Now finding out the current of the circuit, I is equal to V by Z. V is applied voltage is known to us, that is 100. Z is 14 point something, that is equals to the value of 14.52 angle of 28.9, which is equals to I is equal to 6.88 angle of minus 28.9. Now knowing the value of current and power factor, we can calculate P. P is equal to Vi cos of phi or theta, which is equals to V is 100, I is 6.88, and cos of theta is 0.8754, that is equals to 602.9 watt. Similarly, we can calculate Q. Q is equal to Vi sin of phi, that is equals to 100 into 6.88, and sin of phi is equal to sin of 28 degree, that is sin of 28.9 is equal to 332.49 VAR, and S is equal to V into I, that is 100 into 6.68, which is equals to 688 VA, whereas power factor is given by 0.8754. These are the answer.